Hello, amazing viewers from all over the world. You're welcome to the Talent Arts TESOL Academic Teachers Podcast. Today's podcast, you will learn, relearn, and learn again. But before we get the ball rolling, let's talk a little about TESOL Academy. Now, this TESOL Art Academy is a professional institute that offer courses like TFL, TESOL certifications, and the likes. And also, they organize international training sessions for teachers and language lovers in order for them to grow, learn. And now they do this through a global community, which I want you to go in and join in. You can search the link in the comments section of this podcast. So let's get the ball rolling. With me here, it's a wonderful personality all the way from Indonesia. Please join me in as I welcome Mr. Dwiki Rahman Khan. I hope I got the name correctly. Okay. He EFL and ESL instructor, a linguistic practitioner. He is here today so we can learn from his fountain of knowledge. Mr. Dwiki, you're welcome to the Teachers Podcast. How are you today?
Great. What about you?
I am doing amazing. Thank you for asking. Okay, so are you ready for us this morning?
Okay, ready.
I, all right. So I have some questions for you. Our viewers are there listening, watching, and wanting to learn from us. So let's see what we can do so we can help these learners, teachers, and inspired ones. The first question for you, Mr. Dewey, okay, is about your background and inspiration. Can you share with us a little about yourself and what inspired you to become an ESL, EFL teacher or instructor?
Okay, thank you so much, Miss Ejiro. That's how I pronounce your name. Okay,
It's okay.
okay. So yeah, my name is Dwiki Rahman Khan. I am a Gen Z instructor because I just graduated from my college last year, holding a bachelor of English literature. That's number one. So I think the prospect of my degree is to become businessman, education consultant, teacher, linguistics practitioner, and so on. That's number one. And number two, I love to teach. Basically, I love to talk to the students, to people. How can I persuade them that English is fun way? Without English nowadays, the globalization of the world makes us believe that English is not only a tool, but is also a bridge to communicate to each other. Like right now, I'm speaking Indonesian as my first language, and then in Nigeria, what about English? English could be the second language if I'm not mistaken, right? Or is it
It's
the first language?
actually the first language, yeah, but our English is not is what we call pidgin language, okay? So it's really not,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's not the
Not there.
international global speaking language. Yes,
Okay.
please.
Yeah, absolutely. What about the other countries like speaking English as a second language, like Kyrgyzstan, Tajikistan, and so on, and Russia? They don't speak English as their first language, just like I do right now. So I believe that without knowing English nowadays, you cannot communicate to each other. That's the third case. And I believe that if you want to pursue your scholarships, your academic degree outside from your country, they will not ask you, are you competent enough in your native language like Indonesian, Russian? Because why? You want to study abroad, like to UK, to Canada, and so on. Like in India, I believe I had a lecturer graduated from India like 10 years ago. They didn't ask him, are you competent enough to speak in Hindi language? they asked him that, can you attach a TOEFL certificate? So I believe that if you want to boost our career, like in so many cases right now, you need to master English. And I'm delighted that I have a big part, play a pivotal role in educating my people, specifically in English.
Amazing, Mr. Dewiki. That's great to know. So the English language is our lingua franca, and if you want to communicate with anyone internationally, the first thing is to speak the English language. So that's your inspiration. Very good. Okay, so next question for you. I want to know, how did your journey into linguistic and TESOL begin, and what really made you to be passionate about that?
Okay, thank you for the question. So basically, I just graduated from my college last year, 2024, in July specifically. And when I graduated from my college, I didn't know what kind of type of job that is suitable with my personality. And I chose so many different types of jobs, and it didn't suit to my credibility as an English instructor. But at that time, I didn't have any TESOL certificate. I didn't have any English proficiency test like simulation. I didn't take it before, and it hindered me to find a suitable job to myself. So I found an English institution called Bansa Foundation. That's the place that I've been working right now. So this place gave me a chance to become an English instructor. And by the meantime, I also purchased like TESOL certificate from Arizona State University. And then through this workplace, they gave me an invaluable insight of PTE academic. So right now in Sumatra Island, Sumatra is one of the five biggest islands in Indonesia. So in Sumatra, nobody can teach PTE academic with a credibility from Pearson unless it is me. So I'm the only one right now. So
Wow.
this case also boosts my career in PT academic also with a credibility of TESOL certificate. Now, the reason why I want to have these qualified certificates, it is because if you want to, the number one is my career. I want to boost my career as fast as possible. The second one, I believe in learning by doing. So while I'm teaching at the time, I kept learning about how can I teach them, how can I transfer my knowledge to the students, not only by the students but also to their parents, to their guardians. Because why? They want us to be their teacher, right? And we need to persuade their teachers, their parents, and also their guardians about we are qualified enough to teach your students, your children. So believe it with me. But without any certifications, it is really difficult to persuade them that we are competent enough to teach your kids or your children. So that's the case.
That's beautiful to know. So your passion moves you to want to go into more training so you can reach the heart of those learners. And so their parents can also trust you. That's so beautiful to know. Okay, so we are going next to the next question. What's one a memorable experience rather, that shaped your teaching philosophy? If you have any you want to share with us.
Yeah, actually, I have one. So during my earliest teaching experience, like a year ago, so I had
Okay.
this academic director. He guided me how to teach students properly. Basically, I kept talking for an hour to my students, and it didn't work very well because I mean, like I didn't give the students a chance to speak. However, in the English class, the first thing that we need to conduct to our students, the first target, the first purpose is how we can make our students speak at least in English, even though it's terrible. That's fine. That's totally fine. We need to encourage them that keep speaking in English. However, I made a mistake by kept saying for 2 hours straight. without giving any chance to my
Mhm.
students. And my academic director saw this, and he taught me an a valuable information. So he taught me about 80-20%. 20% for the teacher, 80% for the students to speak in English. So I keep using this method until nowadays, and it's working out. Without his help at that time, I think I still don't know how can I teach my students because I keep talking for an hour. That's it.
Wow. Wow. That's great to know. So do the less speaking while you allow your students to do more of the speaking. And I think that that your instructor, I would want to buy their idea or his idea because really you are teaching the learners. So if they don't speak what you're teaching, they may not learn that much. Well done, and thank you for accepting that knowledge and also even using it till date. That shows you're a good instructor. Okay. All right. So we're talking now about students now. Let's move on to you teaching in the classroom. Okay. I want to ask, what's the biggest difference you've noticed between teaching ESL as a second language in the classroom?
Okay. Do you mean that I teach ESL, my students ESL in one
Yeah.
key?
Yeah, no, what's the biggest difference you've noticed between teaching ESL as a second language in the
Mm,
classroom? You know, now
oh,
this students, they come
mhm,
from a different background and they're
mhm.
not a native speaker.
Oh,
Have you noticed? Yeah, have you noticed any difference when you're teaching them the English
uh,
language?
okay. So I live in Jambi. So Jambi is one of the provinces in Indonesia. Just for your information, the English literacy level in Jambi is so low, like less than 2% in this region can speak in English fluently. Less than 2%. We have a
Wow,
million population in this province. Less than 2%
wow,
can speak in English. So that's horrible, right? That's horrible. So the thing is, basically, what I've been taught by my instructors, teachers in the past, they kept saying the same thing. They kept saying in grammatical structure and how can you use it in writing skill. That's it. That's the end. So it's not working out nowadays because why? Our generation, I'm part of Gen Z. We learn English from so many different things. Like we learn English from game, we learn English from YouTube, social media, and you know what? Our knowledge is much more better than our teachers at school. That's the case. And the thing is, when I found this type of student in my classroom, because it's so rare to find a student that can speak in English fluently. It is so rare in Jambi. And when I found a student at the time, it was a year ago, she could speak in English in a length. However, her friends at the time, her peers at the time, couldn't speak in English. So the thing is, I couldn't deliver them the same material, just like this type of student can speak in English. So because we have different backgrounds, cultures, and so on in Jambi, and it doesn't affect to our knowledge about English. Because why? We have no native speakers speaking English in this province. Nobody can no native speakers in here. So that's also another case. So whenever I teach to my student, I'm also an ESL teacher. English is my second language. When I found my students like they couldn't speak in English, I tried to deliver an information about games. Like they love to play games, and I tried to display the games on my presentation, on my videos. Like I display the videos on the presentation about gaming, and then about YouTube and social media, and maybe about the hot topics that related to Indonesia right now. Maybe in Indonesia we have an issue with corruption, and they love to talk about political issues in our country. However, try to speak English, and suddenly it tries to boost their English, even though they didn't know about the vocabularies, the grammatical structures, but that's totally fine. The thing is that I want to teach them is that try to speak in English, whether it is bad or not, try to speak English because why? It takes years of practicing. So that's the case that I've been talk to my students in my classroom because all of our institutions, all of our lecturers are in ESL or EFL educators, non-native
Hmm.
speakers. So,
Well done, Mr. Dwiki. Now, talking about the English, now, one thing is really to speak the English language, right? The other thing is to speak the English language with confidence. Now, this will lead us to the next question. In your experience, what are the most effective strategies? You talk about a girl who feel like reluctant to speak English. Perhaps she can actually speak it, but she's not confident enough. Now, I want to know, Mr. Dewiki, what are the most strategies plan you've done or you've put in place to build speaking the English language with confidence and not just speaking it? I can easily start and say, my name is Ejiro. And I can also, there is a difference between my name is Ejiro. You get that? So
mm,
how do you build confidence in this learners of yours?
okay, thank you for the question. It's an interesting question. So I teach English to secondary and secondary school, yeah, and then up to adults. So I don't teach to young learners because I have no capacity to teach them. But
Oh,
based on my point of view, the thing is why they aren't confident enough to speak in English because I'm not sure is it happening in other countries or not. But in Jambi, if you speak in English, they will believe because why?
wow.
I'm not sure what's happening in this region. Okay, but if you speak in English, they believe that not sure are they being envious toward this person or not, but maybe because our culture is not suitable with speaking other language. First, okay, I will give you an example. I had a friend, so this friend could speak in English properly. However, the case is because there was nobody in next to him that can speak in English, so whenever he tried to mix Indonesian and English language, okay, he got bullied. Because why? Nobody could understand him. He just want to flex into the others. That's the case. Because of this phenomenon, it also affects to the other students until nowadays. Like it's been 10 years. It's been 10 years. This culture, this habit has been adopted by many students, by many pupils in this region. Now, for my case, how can I solve this issue? So,
Okay.
I founded an English community in Jambi. So people can gather in this community and we can speak in English. That's number one. So I founded this community. The name is Linguasphere. So the Linguasphere focuses to teach to be a ball, yeah, to be a ball. How people can gather and then we can speak in English without getting intervention from the others. That's number one. Number two, what about in the classroom? So basically, sometimes in the classroom, I split the students into four groups. Like each group contains like 4 to 5 students, and they speak to each other first in the rounding table, and then after that they need to speak stand up in the classroom trying to give them talk about an opinion, maybe given an opinion. Maybe I'll give them like a picture of Jakarta. Jakarta is the capital city of Indonesia. Can you tell me anything about Jakarta? Or maybe I can display the student about game. Like there are a lot of games right now. And I printed out a logo of a game. And then can you tell me a little bit about this game? And somehow, because we talk in the same way, in the same topics, just like the students want, they have they have encouragement to speak in English. So that's the case. Maybe we don't talk the same topics with the students. The student doesn't know anything about motorcycle, and then we want to talk about motorcycle. That's not the logic. We don't talk in the same way. We're not on the same boat. So as a teacher, I believe that we need to know about the psychologist of our students. So that's the case also. So don't just come to this class and then give a homework. Can you explain about this? But we don't know about the students' behavior. We don't know about the students' knowledge about this. So it also contributes to damage their English capability in the future and nowadays. So that's my case.
Well done. So now you were saying that to be confident in the English language, you form a community and then you put them
Mm,
in groups and
mm,
then you let them discuss what they already have knowledge about. I
mm.
like that. That's beautiful. Okay. Now
Absolutely.
the next you're welcome. The next question is similar to the one I asked previously. I want to know in the classroom, how do you make your lessons very engaging and relevant to learners, irrespective of their backgrounds?
Okay, so right now I teach PT academic to my students,
Okay.
and PT academic sometimes really boring. I saw it with my own eyes to my students. Okay, so in PT academic we have a type of questions called read aloud. So basically, the test will display paragraph, and we just need to read it. Now, for that case, it's sometimes boring because we just read it and then that's it. So sometimes I add a little bit like a joke inside of the essay, inside of the paragraph. So whenever they try to read it, they laugh at the same time because what is this? This is a joke. So that's one of the cases. And also, what about the others, the other students? Like they just want to learn general English right now. So we must find like an engaging method. So I find this type of methods called I'm not sure, triangle. I'm not sure about the method names. So basically, we have three types of feedback: peer feedback, AI feedback, and teacher feedback. So in PET academic tests, they need to write at least 200 words in the PT academic uh, task two. Yeah, in PT academic task two, they need to write at least 200 words. It's not happening in the IELTS test, like you need to write at least 250 words. Now, if they want to write at least 200 words, we as a teacher, we cannot be every single time next to our students, right? But at the same
That's
time,
true.
they need to find a feedback from our teaching, from our feedback, right? So the case is they can learn from two types of methods. The first thing is they can try to communicate to their students, and the name is peer feedback. So they just write at least 200 words, give it back to their friends, and then their friends will give the feedback about the writing. And I think it's also working because why? Because they are on the same level. That's number one. However, the other will say that, well, they don't have the knowledge about assessing others. That's why they have you as their teacher. Now this is the second one. This is the second thing. The AI feedback. We can use ChatGPT, Gemini to give the feedback of our PTE academic writing task too. That's the case. So whenever we are not next to our students, they can still have a feedback, at least from the AI, even though it's not 100% guarantee, but at least they have proper feedback from AI instead of the teachers. So whenever they come around to the class, they have a discussion with the teachers. They have already brought the feedback from the AI, and we can have a nice discussion, little chit chat about what do you think about the AI feedback and speak in English. So that's the case that I bring to my class.
Wow, that's fine. Can you tell me the three? Okay, let me give you the name. Triangular feedback. Can you tell me the three again? I think I should pen that down. Maybe I would use it in my own class.
Hmm.
Can you tell me the
You
three
can do it.
feedback? Yes,
The
please.
feedback is
What's
AI
you
feedback,
call? Yes, you said AI feedback and what again?
peer feedback,
Say peer. Oh, peer
uh,
feedback,
peer
and then
feedback,
which other one?
teacher feedback.
Oh, beautiful. Okay, this is
Mm.
good. So, dear viewers, I hope you are learning. I really hope you are learning and you jotting. You see me? I have my pen. I'm jotting down because I'm really learning from you here. Great.
Good.
Now, we've been talking about learners centered. Now, let's move to the teachers, your colleagues. I would say that. When it comes to speaking, pronunciation, and accent, what advice would you give to your colleague, most especially non-native speakers?
Okay, first of all, don't try to be a native speaker. That's
Hmm,
the case. Okay, we cannot. Okay, our tongue, our mother tongue is not built in that situation. I mean,
it's
like
true.
me as an ESL, okay, ESL educator, my first language is Indonesian, and because Indonesian language is different from English, so whenever I try to speak English, I still bring Indonesian accent to my speaking discussion. That's why during our discussion, you still maybe this isn't a native accent, right? So Sun is the top tier list. I mean, like, is it's a secondary one. Okay, don't make it as your primary step. That's number because why? Pronunciation and accent both are totally different. Pronunciation means how can you pronounce the word perfectly, like how it should be pronounced. And Sun, okay, for the accent case, Sun is, I mean, from my perspective, accent just adds it up. You know, like whenever you try to speak English, if you can follow the accent, that's a plus point for you. But if you cannot follow the accent, well, that's fine. Can you take a look from our Indian friends? They just want to speak with their accent, right? That's fine because they have like pride in themselves that this is our society, this is our accent, okay. And I truly believe that whenever we try to speak with the others, it doesn't mean that your accent must be like the native speaker. Just at least your opponents understand your English with your pronunciation, that's fine. Also in the IELTS test, in the PT academic test, they don't ask you about are you competent enough? Can you speak with our accent? That's not the case. The case is like how can you pronounce our words, the vocabularies in a way. So I think that should be done. Now the case in our society, if you want to be a native speaker, then you must follow the accent. That's not a thing. Like we have millions of migrations to English environments, right? And simply it's really simple, right? They still speak in their accents until nowadays. So I truly believe that boost your pronunciation, but accent is a plus point if you can. But if you don't, if you still find it really difficult in your pronunciation, in your fluency, in your coherence, I think accent should not be the mandatory subject in your English discussion to the others.
Amazing, Mr. Dewey. I buy that. I believe as well clarity over accents. If you speak, can your audience understand what you're saying? That is communication. If you can communicate, forget about accent. Well, like you said, accent is a plus. Okay, and I also believe that everyone has a unique voice, right? Everyone has a unique voice. Just speak and be understood and you're good to go. Okay, so we're going to the next question. Now we're diverting to cultural and global perspective. We want to see your perspective globally. So, as an educator from Indonesia, right? How does culture influence your approach in teaching English?
Okay.
Did you
So
did you get a
Indonesia
question?
has, yeah, I get the question. So Indonesia has so many
Okay.
different cultures. We have, just for information, we have more than 800 local languages at the same time. So Indonesian is not my first language. Malay is my first language. It's our local language. The second one Indonesian, the second one is English. So I can't say ESL educator. I believe that I am an EFL educator, English as a foreign language educator. Okay. We have 800 more 800 local languages. Now, when we try to learn English in our school, it means that our students have to learn this language as their third or fourth language. That's the case. Now, because we
Wow.
have different backgrounds at the same time, so how can I solve this issue? First of all, I try to find the point between these different cultures. Why? Because this one has its own language. This one has her own language. And I think so many cases. So like I told you before, maybe we can talk about the same thing. Like we can talk about foods, we can talk about geography, we can talk about political issue, we can talk about the hot topics in social media. And I truly believe that if we can put this in such a good way, and then we as an educator doesn't matter with our students because they made a lot of mistakes during the conversation. I truly believe that this method is still working in nowadays. I truly believe in that because there are so many methods that I tried to implement to my students, but sadly it didn't work. So the best case is try to be a nice teacher, try to be a good educator to your students. Because I'm still a Gen Z,
Wow.
and I'm still 22 years old, and my students are between 17 to 20, right? So they can be my
Wow.
friends because you know the differentiation between our age is not the matters because I'm just 2 years ahead of them. So we can be a friend with them. So that's a plus point for being a Gen Z. Okay. So we can be their friends, and
Wow.
whenever we are not in the classroom and maybe in the canteen, in the cafeteria, we can be a friend because the differentiation of our age is not the matters. And we are still talking the same way. We like to talk about culture, we like to talk about game, we like to talk about videos and so on.
Amazing. Well done. All right. So the next question now, Mr. Dewiki. Do you believe that educator can learn from the way English is being taught in Indonesia? If yes, I want you to share. What can educators learn from the way the English language has been taught in your country?
Okay. So the question is, educators can teach like in my country.
Yeah, what do you think educators around the world, what do you
Mm-hmm.
think, or do you believe educators
Mm-hmm.
around the world can learn from the way
Uh-huh. Oh, I get
instructor
it.
in Indonesia teaches the English language? Yes.
Absolutely. Just as I told before, we have so many different cultures. In Indonesia, we have more than 17,000 islands. More than 17,000 islands. And we have five biggest islands in our country. Now, because we have so many different islands, we have so many different regions, each region has its own uniqueness, like its language and so on. Now, the thing that I want to tell the whole world is that even though we have so many different languages, so many cultures, ethnicities, religions, regions, and so on, we can still learn English without provoking to each other. So I believe with the idea of tolerance, since I live in Jambi, and in Sumatra island alone, we have at least like 10 provinces. Each province has its own local language. So the thing is, whenever we try to engage with each other, like in English, that's totally fine because why? We just want to educate them. That's the case. We tolerate them. Whatever you have this religion, your background, that's not the case. We gather here, we learn English as our second language or our foreign language. So the thing that I want to tell the whole world it is, we even though we have so many types of backgrounds, we can still gather in harmony to each other, specifically in learning English. So we cannot say that just because I'm not sure, racism is still around nowadays in this modern era, but in Indonesia, it doesn't occur. So yeah.
Well done. Thank you so much, Mr. Dwiki. Dwiki, that's how you said it. Okay. So now we're going to your professional growth, right? Now you have a TESOL certification. Now, what role has your TESOL certification played in advancing your career and your teaching approach?
Okay, thank you. I took my TESOL certificate on January, if I'm not mistaken, January to April, like 140
Okay.
hours of learning. Okay, so this TESOL
Wow.
certificate, TESOL certificate plays a pivotal role in my life. Because why? Before I took this TESOL certificate, I was no one. I was nobody. Nobody would learn from me. I didn't have any reliable certificate
Mhm.
that can prove that I am eligible to teach English. I can teach in English, even though maybe I made a grammatical mistake. At least I can teach English as a foreign language to my students. Now, before I took this TESOL certificate, well, my life was so miserable. And then after I took my TESOL certificate, many academic institutions would like to hire me as their teacher, as their academic director. Because why? I could create a curriculum based on Cambridge. I could teach them properly. I have the knowledge of AI in education nowadays because I have also a certificate AI in education by Pearson Official. So that's why I believe that without this TESOL certificate, I can't get any certificates like the PTE academic test and then the TOEIC 4 skills workshop and then so on. Like it boosts my career in the future. Maybe I will be elected as the academic director in my foundation because why of my TESOL certificate. I am eligible to teach English. This certificate is not only boosting my career but also improving my students' knowledge about English. Could teach them properly. Before I took the test, well, my I didn't know how to teach them. Was it appropriate to teach them like this? I didn't think so. So that's why I believe that this TESOL certificate is building my career and it's the foundation of my career in the future.
Amazing. In my country where I come from, they will call you Don the Wiki, like Don, Don the Wiki. Do you know what that means?
What is it?
It means you are the best in what you're doing. When someone is called done, it means the person is skillful, the person has learned a lot and is applying it. So done the wiki, well done for the certifications you've gotten and you've so far used it to promote yourself. Now this will lead us to the next question, okay? Now, what skills should the 21st century English teachers have that will make him or her stand, that can make him impactful to the world as a whole?
Okay. I believe that this era is unique, okay? Because why we are utilizing AI in our education in every way. So if a teacher wants to be recognized as a reliable teacher, as a certified teacher, they must learn how to use AI in education. Like all over the world, like you move to USA, you move to Asian countries, they are using AI in their education, whether we like it or not. So I believe that if you know how to use AI in education, maybe get a certified in that. Well, it will boost your career as well. Like it will enhance your career in the future. So this is the case that's not happening in my country. My country is still implementing the idea of traditional classroom, like teaching in the board and then using marker, and then they don't know how to use AI in education. That's the case that I found in Jambi in my province. No, there are many people know how to use AI in education. Well, it is sad, we don't know how to use AI. The information of using AI in the classroom is hindered by, I'm not sure, unknown people. And because we have no like we don't know how to use it. So that's the case. And I believe that wherever you are, as a teacher and educator, you need to learn how to use AI in education. So that's it.
Well done. Okay. Don't you think it's time to take some water?
Okay.
Okay. All right. You're doing so well. Thank you so, so much. Now we're almost rounding off. You advise to teachers out there that wants to get or are yet to get the TESOL certificates, what advice would you want to give to them as they
Okay.
transit in their learning the English language and at the same time teaching them and teaching their learners, I meant to say.
Okay. So for those people, if you would like to be a TESOL teacher, are you ready to work in this industry? That's number one. Do you ready or not? I would like to say this, but if you see from LinkedIn, from YouTube, from social media, you will see that teachers get low paid in every way. Do you ready? Do you want to work in this kind of environment? If your imagination, if you imagine that maybe I will get a lot of money if I work as an educator, you can do that maybe if you are working at least maybe 10 years, 20 years, maybe you have your master's degree, doctoral degree, working in a university, in a reliable academic institution, you will get a lot of money, but it takes a lot of time to get there. So that's the case. Okay, if you are ready to work in this environment, in this industry, well, join TalentHut Academy. We'll be to accommodate you. But if you're not ready, you don't know how to teach students. Your main focus is how to get a lot of money. Don't work as a TESOL educator, as a TESOL instructor. Because why? Our first target, our purpose in here is to educate our students, our children in our country. That's our main target. Money will come next. But if you're targeting that money is your top priority, don't work as a TESOL educator. You may work in STEM, like science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. You can work in there, and then you will recoup a lot of money. Your revenue per month will be amazed. I mean, like you will be amazed by your dedication in your job, in your job. But if you want to work as a TESOL educator, my best advice is: do you ready or not? If you're not ready, don't take it. Work in somewhere else. That's it.
Thank you very much. So, from what I can get from you now, if the passion is not there, don't go. Don't join in, right? But if the passion is there, then you should have this quality, patience. But I would say that yes, there is still money when it comes to teaching. Just utilize what you have. Like, I know of some teachers that are earning in our currency 1 million naira. I don't know the when I come, I don't know the conversion in your currency. You're doing pretty well. Once you know what you're doing, forget it. You will have the money. Okay, so let's go. Let's go to the next and final question for you, Mr. Dwiki. What is your vision for the English language? What's the future? What's your vision for the future of the English language teaching globally?
Okay. In the future or nowadays?
Yeah, like a vision. What are you looking up to? Like, what do you see when it comes to teaching the English language globally? What's your vision for the
Oh,
English language? Yeah.
okay, okay. So, yeah, just I told you before, English is maybe, even though it's not standardized by many countries, but it's one of the recognized languages in United Nations. So I believe that if you want to move abroad, like to somewhere else, you need to speak in English. That's number one. And maybe if you would like to teach English globally, I believe that you need to have a lot of works in there. Like maybe you create your own article, international article, and then maybe master's or doctoral degree, and then your position in academic institution could be. So it takes a lot of time to get in there. But once you're in there, uh, you can teach English globally. Like you can teach English. Maybe I live in Indonesia. I had an academic director taught Vietnamese from Indonesia. So I believe that because he has a qualified certification and then a Fulbright awardee, and then he got his certificates from all over the world. He could teach English from anywhere else, from Dubai, from Middle East to Europe, and so on. Because why? He has a credential to teach in English. But for us, if we want to look up in there, well, keep working in there, keep upgrading yourself because your position, your soft skill, your administration, your management, your teaching skill will be considered by other people. They will look up to you. They will look after to you because you have credibility to teach them globally. But to work in there, to be in there, I think it takes a lot of time. So that's why one of the cases why I joined this TalentHut Academy, the TESOL one, because I believe that this environment will help me to cooperate, to communicate to other TESOL instructors from all over the world. So that's why we are in here. So that's why.
Amazing. Well done. You've held that. You want to enhance your skill. Join the Talent Arts Academy where you can learn, grow, and connect. It has been a wonderful time with you, Mr. Dwiki. Thank you so much for sharing your insights, your experience, your passion. Really, you being an ESL, EFL instructor and coming here right now to discuss with us has really inspired our listeners. Now, to the viewers out there, I know you're watching, you have been watching, and I know you've picked one or two things. Please do well to apply. And to everyone, I want to let you know that learning the English language is not just about the grammar, it's about helping individuals to find their voice. Yes. So do not be mute, do not keep quiet, speak and give someone a voice to speak. Okay, so we are getting the ball to the goal. It's amazing time. Until next time, everybody, don't forget, keep learning, keep inspiring, keep growing. This is Teacher Ajiro, your wonderful host. Until next time, I want to drop this to everyone. Every voice matters. Your voice matters. So voice it out. Thank you once again, Mr. Deweki, and I do well to see you another time. For me, it is bye.